Good evening to all. Today we are going to discuss about cipher block modes of operation in Unit 2. See, in cipher block modes of operation, the block cipher process the data blocks of fixed size. The size of the if the size of the message is larger than the block size, we divide that into number of blocks, or we can say that we can divide that into sequential message blocks, and the cipher operates on these blocks one at a time. So at a time we can work on one block. See, the block cipher mode operation, actually to perform the encryption you can perform in two ways. One is block mode and another one is stream mode. Stream mode means in a continuous sequence, bit by bit the encryption will be done. Block mode means the number of bits are kept as a block, and that block is converted into the another form. That is the block mode. So here in the block cipher mode operation, we have 5 modes of operations. Let us see each one in detail. The first one is electronic code book mode, and then cipher block chaining. Third one, cipher feedback mode. Fourth one, output feedback mode, and last one, counter mode. So totally we have 5 mode operations under the block cipher. The first one is electronic code book, ECB. So how this mode will operate? Let us see the structure. Look into this structure. Here the P1, P2 up to so on Pn are the number of blocks. So we are performing the encryption on each block. In ECB, the encryption process will be done independently. It is not depending on any other block. See, P1 is individual, P2 is individual, P3 is individual, so on, Pn is individual. So no one is depending on any other. What is happening here? Your block of content is encrypted by using the key K. Then you will get the ciphertext. This is the process. The same key you will be used in all the blocks K, K, K. The procedure is same. Taking that block of content, performing the encryption with the key K, and getting the ciphertext. The plain text, if you want the complete ciphertext, you need to add C1, C2, C3 up to so on Cn blocks. Similarly, the decryption process is in reverse. You take first the cipher C1 and you will perform the decryption process with the key K. You will get the P1. Similarly, you will perform all the N blocks. Finally, if you add all the blocks P1, P2 up to so on Pn, you will get the final plain text. Right? This is what ECB mode, electronic code mode. Okay? So what are the advantages on this? Here you can perform parallel encryption. I told you it is not depend on the other. So at parallel, at a time, all the blocks can be processed. And another advantage is it's a simple. And what are the disadvantages here? Let us take ABC is a plain text of 64-bit. You are converting it into 64-bit ciphertext. Say for example, for ABC plain text, XYZ is the ciphertext. Then what is the drawback here? The drawback is, so whenever you give the ABC as an input, you will get the XYZ as an output. Is it clear? Whenever you give ABC as an input, you will get the same output XYZ. So what is that? It will give a clue to the attacker. Once he find that ABC is a XYZ, if for XYZ ABC is the plain text, so wherever it is there, in all the places he can get the original data. That is a drawback. And another drawback is it can perform only small messages. Encryption can be performed on only small messages. These are the advantages and disadvantages of ECB. Next, second one, the second mode, cipher block chaining. Cipher block chaining mode. In the title, you can see block chaining. Chaining means link to each other. Which one you have to link? The cipher block you have to chaining each other. Let us see the structure for a better understanding. You can observe here. See, the C1 is connected to the next round and C2 connected to the next round. Like that, C3 is connected. See that the ciphers are connected, linked. So cipher block chaining. See the title, cipher block chaining mode. So how the encryption and decryption process is done here, let us discuss. See, in an encryption, you are taking the block, the first block P1, and here you are performing the XOR with IV. What is this IV? IV means initial vector. What is an initial vector? So initial vector is nothing but a group of bits, the 64 bits. Here the block size is also 64 bit. Okay, here it is a 64 bit of bits which is used to make it more complex. In the sense, it will provide more security here. To make it more difficult in the sense, to whom you are making it as a difficult? For the attackers. Okay, so this IV, this initial vector, it's a 64-bit bits which is used to perform the XOR to provide the more security to the content. And with the output of that, we are providing the encryption with a key K. After that, you will get C1, the 64-bit ciphertext C1. Right? This is one block is processed. After that, if you want to perform the next block, the continuation block, see that the C1 is given to the next block. The P2 block is performed the P2 block, and with the C1 you are performing the XOR, and you will get an output. On that you are performing the encryption with a key. So cipher block chaining. Cipher block chaining, like that it continues till n blocks. So similarly, the same procedure, the same process is happening in decryption in a reverse order, that you can observe in the diagram. You are taking the C1, here you are performing the decryption, then you are performing the XOR, and first at the first round, the first block, you will be taking the initial vector to perform the decryption process. Then you will get a P1, and then from the next it continues. It will take the previous block ciphertext and it will perform the XOR, and you will get the plain text of that block. It continues with all the n blocks. See, the encryption and decryption process is done by using the cipher block chaining mode. So what are the advantages in the cipher block chaining mode? It works well with the input is greater than the B bits. Means if it is the size is greater, it will divide that into number of blocks. It is a good authentication mechanism. it will resist more, because resist in the sense it will provide more security than the ECB comparatively. And what are the disadvantages here? See, in a ECB you can perform in parallel, but here you cannot. Why? Because if, for example, if there is 4 blocks of data, each block, in the sense, the second block is depending on the first block, the third block is depending on the second block, like that, the blocks are depending on the previous block. So it is not possible to perform parallel encryption process. Okay, that is the disadvantage here. And let us see what is the cipher feedback mode. We see cipher feedback mode. So the title will give us an idea. Cipher feedback mode. What is cipher feedback? Yeah, you can observe here. See, the encryption process. At the beginning, you are taking the initial vector along with the original content. With the both, you are performing the encryption with the key K. After that, you can observe that there is a shift register. This is called a shift register. Observe in the shift register, it is mentioned as S bits and B minus S bits. What is this S bits? The S bit size is 8 bits. 8 bits. The B minus S bits means 56 bits. How many? 56. Total is 64 bit. It was given to shift register. Here it is divided into 2 parts. One is S bits of the size 8 bits and another one is B minus S bits of the size 56 bits. So what is happening here? Here the 56 bits are declined. The 56 bits are declined and the S bits are there. No, S bits means I told you. S bits mean I told you 8 bits. So you are processing with that 8 bits. Now the P1 size is also 8 bits. So you are performing XOR with these both. You will get an output that is called a ciphertext C1 here. Is it clear? And then in the next round, you are giving this C1. C1 is of size what? 8 bits. It is given to the next round, the shift register S bits. See here the S bits. Here the B minus S is the balance 56 bits. So again you are performing here the encryption with the key K. Then you have the shift register. Here also that 64 bit is divided into 2 parts, that 8 bits and 56 bits. And the 56 bits is discarded. And the 5 bits you are processing with the 8 bits. It will continues till the last block. Okay, so it will take the feedback of the previous block, then it will perform. That is the encryption process in cipher feedback mode. Let us come to the decryption process. It is in reverse. So here you have to here it is mentioned as an encrypt. It is not an encrypt. It is a decrypt. See the process of decryption. Same initial vector. Here you are performing the decrypt. And a shift register, it will be divided into 2 parts, 8 bits, 56 bits, and then you are performing the XOR with the P1. See, to perform the XOR, you are performing with the C1. C1 and with the 8 bits of the after the encryption, you are performing the XOR to get the P1. Okay, right? Like that, this decryption process is continuous. Okay, the decryption process is continuous. So this is what feedback mode. Okay, give me a minute of time. I'll take the attendance, then we continue.
ఇప్పుడైతే జాగ్రత్తగా తెలుసా కొంచెం జాగ్రత్తగా వస్తుంది నిదానంగా.
Deepak. Okay. Let us see the output feedback mode. You see, the output feedback mode is similar to the cipher feedback mode, but here there is no shift register. Here you see there is an initial vector. Okay. Why we are calling it as output feedback mode? The output of the encryption is taken to the next block. Okay, initial vector, the original content, you are performing the encryption with the key K, then you are getting the output. Here it is all 64-bit. With the P1 you are performing XOR, then you will get the C1. The encryption output is given to the next block encryption. Okay, output feedback mode, right? So this is the process, very similar process, the previous one. So like this, it will continues with the n blocks for the encryption process. Similarly, let us see the decryption. The decryption process, initial vector, here it is encrypt, it is not it is decrypt, not encrypt. You are performing with the key K, and that output with the C1 you are performing the XOR to get the P1. Just it is reverse. Here you performing with the P1 to get C1. In a decryption you perform with the C1 with an XOR and you will get the P1. The output is given here, the next block. Similarly, it continues to convert the cipher text into plain text. So this is the output feedback mode. The last one is counter feedback mode. So what is this counter feedback mode? See, in an n number of blocks, we will consider n counters. Counter 1, counter 2, up to so on, n counters. So you'll be performing encryption here. It's very simple, and you can observe this. It is also an independent conversion. Means the every block, no block is depending on another block, right? So counter 1 will give encrypt. What is a counter 1? Actually, we need to discuss what is this counters. It is similar to the initial vector. What I told you, for the initial vector, it is a group of 64 bits which is used to provide the security. These counters, you are taking different counters for each block. These counters also with the 64-bit size, which provides more security. Right? Simple, same process. You are performing here encryption with a K, XOR with a P1, you will get a C1. And similarly, you can do that. Here you can process this in a parallel. At a time you can do. Okay. And come to the decryption process. It is reverse. You are taking the counter. It is not encrypt, it is decrypt. You are decrypting with the key K. You are performing the XOR with the C1. You will get the P1. Like that, it continues. Finally, you will get the plain text after the decryption process. This is the counter mode. You are giving different counters to the each block to perform the encryption process and also the decryption process here. So like that, what we have discussed today. We have a different modes. In each mode, the procedure or the approach is different to perform the encryption and decryption process. So we use all of these modes wherever it is necessary based on the requirement. So we use each mode as per the requirement, and we perform the encryption decryption process to provide much security to our data.